The British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good morning, I'm Gina Tang, and this is your news updates to 11 a.m. Last night's BC Leaders Debate touched on a wide range of topics. One more vigorously debated was the ongoing toxic drug crisis. Our reporter, Ryan Bowles, has more on the leaders' policies and the status of the drug crisis.
John Rustad, David Eby, and Sonia Furstenau took the stage last night and argued the values of their plans to tackle the ongoing overdose crisis in BC. Eby called for an expansion to overdose prevention sites, while Conservative leader Rustad criticized NDP policy, claiming criminals are selling drugs in these facilities. Sonia Furstenau called for decriminalization and greater access to rehabilitation, while Rustad also called for an end to safe supply and injection sites, while saying his party would cut wait times for voluntary care. While acknowledging her party wouldn't form government, Green leader Sonia Furstenau also called for increased public education on drug use and an end to the stigma around substance abuse. Ryan Bowles, BCIT's The Crow.
Liberal MP Evan Baker says there should not have been different punishments thrown out to him and to Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre for comments each of them made in the House of Commons. This week, Poilievre was sanctioned for accusing Jolie of pandering to supporters of the terrorist organization Hamas. Baker was barred from speaking in the House of Commons for 6 months. Poilievre was barred for doing so for 1 day. Fergus has been struggling to maintain order in an increasingly volatile atmosphere in the House of Commons. The annual BCHL showcase begins on Sunday. The league has partnered with the NHL team for the second straight year. Our reporter, Keenan Tregaski, has detail on how young skaters are benefiting from these experiences.
This year's showcase is hosted by the Vancouver Canucks and is taking place in Abbotsford Centre and the Chilliwack Coliseum. These annual events are a great outlet for players to show off their talent in a real game. Brad Rihella, Associate Coach and Director of Player Development for the Chilliwack Chiefs, says this great opportunity has the attention of many scouts.
I think it's a really unique and cool opportunity for our players and players across the league to get showcased to, the NCAA, NHL scouts, Division III schools. There's a ton of different avenues that it allows players to play in front of.
Each showcase game is also a regular season game. Rihella says his team keeps their head down and stays focused on getting their 2 points. Keenan Tregaskis, BCIT's The Crow.
Ontario is launching a review of the province's 37 non-Indigenous children's aid societies. They are looking at the quality of protection they provide, as well as their financial management. The province is starting a process today to look for an outsider contractor to conduct the review. This comes 1 week after Premier Doug Ford criticized the societies in a press conference. Children, Community, and Social Services Minister Michael Parsa says he has heard concerning stories from some areas of the province. Premier Doug Ford has more.
A youth was placed in a home that failed fire safety requirements, one that their food was restricted, and as a result they were injured after being restrained, or in some cases where funding is being used for unrelated programming.
4 beluga whales has died in the past year at Niagara Falls theme park, Marineland. Since 2019, 16 belugas have died. Marineland is the only place in Canada that still holds whales in captivity after changes to federal and provincial laws. Ontario's Solicitor General has not said anything about the death or the investigation into the park that started in 2020. A spokesman for Solicitor General Michael Kersner says Animal Welfare Services has conducted more than 200 inspections at the park over the past 4 years.
They have always maintained that they treat their animals very well, and that the people working with them love their animals, and they haven't ever sort of changed that position. Of course, I have a lot of questions for Marineland, as well as for the government, but right now, many of those questions are going unanswered.
That has been your news update to 11 a.m. I'm Gina Tang, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow. This is 1680 The Crow, and you're listening to our feature presentation.
Do you have any idea what that sound was? That's cold. Well, you're about to find out.
Welcome to the Chill and Thrive podcast. I am Vivek Nakra.
And I'm Jacob Fraser. And this episode is called Ice and Heat Health Tour. So, I started using ice baths, also known as cold plunges, well over 10 years ago now. This was something that I started doing while I was playing hockey. I was playing at a hockey academy on Vancouver Island, and in our trainer's room of our facilities, we had 2 cold tubs. And I wasn't super interested in it at first because, well, I mean, who really wants to get in a big tub of ice water? But once I started, I couldn't stop. This is something that I've continued to do habitually, even now after being a few years removed from my hockey career. Saunas weren't something I used often, but I started that within the last couple years now. And pairing the two of them just is kind of the perfect way for me to start my day. I always start with a sauna first now, and then after I'm out of the sauna, I'll hop in the ice bath and let my body heat up naturally afterwards, since apparently from what I've heard, that burns a ton of calories. And then once I'm done that, I'm kind of feeling great, ready to go, and feeling invincible. Vivek, I know you don't have as much experience in this space as I do, but why don't you share a little bit of your background in just saunas, cold plunging, whatever your background is in that?
That sounds interesting. I haven't used it yet, but after listening to you, I'm really excited to try it once. I have also heard about the benefits of ice bath and sauna from different experts, as it is all over social media now. And I have seen people recovering from injuries or overcoming their stress by using it often.
Yeah, it's definitely become a lot more trendier on social media and things like that, like you said. I know in your research you found a little bit about the history about cold plunging and the treatments. Could you share that with us just briefly?
The history of cold plunges and saunas goes back to at least the 5th century BC. For health reasons, the ancient Egyptians, Romans, and Greeks all regularly took cold baths. As saunas came to be mixed into these cultures, one sort of followed the other. This sort of hot cold plunge has also been incorporated into ancient Chinese medicine.
That's really interesting. I always was under the impression that it came from Scandinavia, but it's interesting to learn that it comes from ancient Greek and Egypt. That's really cool. You mentioned it's practiced in ancient Chinese medicine as well. Let's transition that into our first interviewee. We got a chance to speak with a couple of medical professionals today. So we'll share a few of the things that they had to say about just the benefits of using cold plunging and saunas for people's health. The first person we're going to hear from is Kim Cormack. Kim is an athletic therapist at Simon Fraser University, and we're going to hear what she thinks about the practice of cold plunging and the use of saunas.
In my practice, I just encourage our athletes to basically use exercise as the best way to recover from like a hard training session or anything like that where your muscles are really sore. And then as far as using cryo or thermotherapy with cold plunges or saunas, that's kind of, from what my understanding is, there's not a lot of research out there to prove that either of them promote quicker recovery than just exercise. If that makes any sense.
It was really interesting to hear Kim talk about how there is such a lack of research in the space of cold plunging and saunas and whether or not it really is beneficial for your health, because that was something that I had found as well when trying to do research for this episode. But we did talk to another personal trainer, kinesiologist, Jaden Graywall, who will join us now and share his opinion on whether or not it is beneficial.
Regular sauna use can help enhance fitness recovery by increasing circulation and aiding in muscle relaxation. Cold plunge therapy can also complement this by improving blood flow, reducing inflammation, and speeding up muscle recovery as well, making it ideal after intense workouts.
It's really interesting to me to hear the two different point of views from two different medical professionals. Both are kinesiologists, both work in athletic therapy, and they both have opposing views on whether or not it is beneficial. So I found that to be really interesting, and definitely there needs to be more research done into the fact of whether or not it is beneficial. Next up, I'll be taking you guys through my personal sauna and cold plunge routine. So I hope you enjoy learning how I do things. All right, it's about to head into the sauna here. We've got it up to about 80 or 90 degrees, so I'm not going to be able to bring my microphone in there, but I'll let you know how it goes afterwards. Okay, so we just finished up our 15 minutes in the sauna there. It was really, really hot, and I'm really, really sweaty, and now we're just about to jump into the ice bath. So right now we're filling up the 5-gallon buckets of ice. We've got 3 of them, so we're going to be adding 15 gallons of ice to our ice bath today. So right now we are filling up the ice bath with the ice. The water's under 12 degrees. And yeah, we're about to hop in. We'll see how it goes. That's cold. Alright, just sitting in an ice bath right now. It is, let's see what the temperature is at. It's a little below 10 degrees at about 8 degrees right now. It's pretty chilly. Never really gets easier. The feet's the worst part of it, but feels good at the end. Alright, just getting out. Getting out's kind of the worst part, just because you're still feeling numb, but also the cold air from outside is on me right now. It's about 12 degrees outside, so getting out of a 8-degree tub and then getting the cool breeze of the 12-degree air, it's a little chilly. Now it's just time for a quick shower and get on with the episode.
It sounds like you had a chill time. Now I can't wait to try it once. Now we are joined by our guest speaker, Yari Chan, who often uses this cold plunge after his intense physical workouts.
Well, it's definitely uncomfortable. That's one of the downsides. I guess it could be a benefit as well if you're looking to push yourself to do uncomfortable things. I would say some of the benefits that I've noticed are increased wakefulness. You definitely feel very awake after getting in the cold water. There are just general feelings of boosted happiness, I guess, after the cold plunge and sauna. Some of the benefits that I've heard of but haven't personally experienced are things like increase in immune system health, and also boosted mood.
Thank you, Yari, for sharing your experience with us with your cold plunging and sauna. I hope you continue to do it, and I hope you continue to enjoy it. Now, let's break down some of the stats behind the benefits of saunas and cold plunges. According to research done by the Massachusetts General Hospital, some of the benefits that come with using saunas include detoxification, which is sweating out toxins and heavy metals from your body, which cleanse the skin and flush out impurities. Relaxation is another one. The use of saunas can reduce stress and improve sleep since it increases circulation and releases endorphins into your body. Along with the improved circulation, the heat can actually alleviate pain and reduce inflammation. And saunas also provide an overall boost to your immune system, as Yari was saying, by increasing white blood cells. As for the cold plunging benefits, they do have a similar effect as the sauna, such as improving circulation and accelerating your muscle recovery, which is why it is widely used by high-performance athletes. But cold plunging also gives your immune system a similar boost because the temperature stimulates the immune system and has an overall effect on mental alertness and promotes mental clarity. Now, Vivek, you had done some more research into just the growth and popularity of the sauna and cold plunging world. Could you break that down for us a little bit?
While the global demand for saunas is also experiencing a significant rise due to the increase in awareness of health and wellness. According to Grandview Research, the global sauna market size was valued at $859.5 million in 2023 and is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 5.9% from 2024 to 2030.
Wow, as we had mentioned earlier on in the podcast, and as Yari had mentioned in his interview, it really is a growing trend. It's getting really big around the world. Before we wrap it up here, I just wanted to see if you wanted to share what your biggest takeaway was from doing your research and learning about ice bathing, cold plunging, and the use of saunas.
I was really shocked after listening to our guest speakers explaining the number of benefits that a person can get from these two activities, as it helps to reduce inflammation and improves to recover fast after physical practices. And this is what made me more curious to try it once and feel it myself after my physical workouts and see how it feels to me.
Yeah, I definitely hope you try it one day. I think you'd enjoy it. I think for myself, my biggest takeaway was just the amount or the lack thereof of research that was out there pertaining to the topic. It's really interesting that there's not a ton of information or research done to prove whether or not it is that beneficial for our health. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Chill and Thrive. I'm your host, Jacob Fraser, with my co-host, Vivek Nakra, and thank you to our 3 guests who joined us today, Kim Cormack, Jaden Graywall, and Yari Chen. Tune in next time, and make sure to continue to chill and thrive.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane.